Hello, welcome to another tutorial everyone, this time on pitch distance. Before we looked at land distance. If you haven't seen that, well, I'll link the video in the description. So what I'd like to really do is just spend a minute or so explaining before we get on with the run. So a lot of people use different characters such as the Tinsy, Rayman, all the normal ones. I personally use Rayman because that's what I like to do. I would probably suggest that you use either Rayman or the Tinsy because they're easier. The hitbox is smaller, and Glowbox, I'm not sure about the Princess, but so yeah, I'd do that. So really this tutorial was designed to help you understand how to pass all the obstacles, particularly the advanced ones. And there's a lot of pit distance players that are really good. Just to name a few: Vadragon, Meth, Shaduza, Bappa and Duff. They're very good. They're always getting good distances. And if we all practice more, a lot more, then we can get good scores. But remember, you don't need to worry about other people's scores. You're trying to improve your personal best. So let's get into it. This commentary is obviously done through gameplay while I'm doing it, so I hope I'm as clear and as concise and it helps you. So let's get on with it. Right, I want to go at speed that everybody generally does, but this isn't the speed. So blue hands, just press down. Bumper, just kick, or just hover. Let's find another bumper. This. That was a bit sketchy because I didn't do it right. That's a cool ground pound on the edge, which is basically dive. If you're not confident with these goes, just wait for a right pattern and drop. Okay, in the wind, in pit speed you kick like that. You hold for a second, then you kick. So I'm actually teaching you more than the distance here, because it saves time. Okay, so here's another bumper. That's what you want to do. Whatever you feel safe and happy with. Go slowly, look. Just take your time, there's no rush. Okay. If you encounter it close, just do a kick like that, and it just stops your animation. And just keep holding and hover. Here we don't want to land on that, so we're just going to drop down. Here we're just going to drop down, but if it's not at the right point, just hover. There's an opening and a closing part. Here, just hover very slowly or just drop. Just make sure you don't go too far to the left or too far to the right. I'm just nearly died by wiggling around stupidly. Here, just drop down slowly. Don't do it too slow though, because you'll get caught. Like this. Okay. Then here, just either kick or just hover. Make sure you wait for those branches to come, and then just go for each one like that. And make sure you hover when you finish that bumper. Okay, so now we hover. Follow the path of the lumps, or looms, if you want to call them looms. Don't go to the right, just stay to the left, drop down. You should pass that. Right, so here, just make sure you're in the safe location. Make sure you're directly the opposite way, and then do like slow increment drops. Okay, drop down here as before. Take your time on this. If you need to and you feel you're going to die, do this. Do like a little kick. Land on this side of the blue hand. Jump to the next blue hand. Not too high. And hover. And do a little kick like that to cancel momentum and hover. This is how you're supposed to do it. But not at that speed. Drop when is it right. Now this you can speed through, but if you just stay in the middle here and just turn ever so slightly to the right and to the left as it's swaying, you'll get used to the pattern rather, if you sit properly. Then you pass it 9 times out of 10. Here I suggest you kick earlier to cancel the momentum, wait for that to go, and drop, or just drop down when you feel it's safe. And we got another rest zone. I just did an instant ground pound. I hover and then I kick up here so I can get past. And how on earth I didn't die there, I don't know. So when you land on the chain, make sure you hover so you're going to land on the chain, not the spikes, and press down. Now we're in the advanced obstacles. We're right by the wall, so just wait for a good cycle and drop. Here you can kick and then drop down. This is the same sort of obstacle but with the wall in the wind. Don't drop down too early. And make sure you hover as well, don't just drop down immediately. This section, just drop to the wind and drop, and make sure you're holding the opposite direction so you don't fall in there. To skip it, what you basically need to do is hold the opposite direction and hover in increments. Time this. Go hover here, go hover there, just for security. There you need to drop down at the right moment and then hover by the two branches or the spikes, and it could be to the far left or to the far right, but you will still have the same thing. Once you pass the first one, the second one's a little bit easier. Make sure you're central, not too far to the left or too far to the right to pass that. Drop down holding this, and it's going to repeat, but we haven't seen every obstacle yet. Hopefully we will. Turn to the left, turn to the right, hover if need be. You've got judgment. There you go. And there's a nice rest zone on the edge, but be careful with that. Do the same thing again. And finally we've got another one. Now if I just jump here and I'll explain it to you. A lot of people skip this, I know I'm one of them. I would tell you that this is super difficult. It really is, because you've got to avoid the bumper. If you touch the bumper, it's going to push you straight into those spikes at the top there. So to do it with the bumper, I'm not going to do it because I haven't learned it. You kick backwards and then you hover and drop. So we're going to try and skip it. So we're going to pull away from it, directly in line with that leaf was in the background. You see the leaf in the background just above the slippery slope? Hover there and make sure you don't glide into it. So if you glide into the bumper, you're going to have to do the strat I just told you. Then kick in the air so that you get some height. Kick as many times as you need. In fact, there's a funny thing with the hitbox. If you kick and you're about to touch spikes, sometimes the hitbox doesn't register, it's a damage. So you can pass, because it's not cheating, it's not hacking, it's how the hitboxes work. Let me just think, have we seen all of them? No, we haven't. Here's that again. Here we go. I was just thinking about this one. So make sure you when you hit the wind, kick the opposite direction so that you don't touch the wall and fall off and die. And of course, let's talk about it here. And then drop down, do some kicks if need be. Timing the wheel, you know the wheel timing by now from other simple obstacles, although they can be very tricky. And then what you really want to do is you want to run down, and then you want to jump in the air, or you want to just run off and hit hover. So now we've talked about that, making me feel dizzy watching this. Hover there, look, turn around and drop. Same thing, kick backwards, press in the opposite direction. Now kick at this wall until you feel it's safe to drop down here, but don't drop down immediately. Just drop down in increments like this. you can do that. Here again, turn around and kick, but be careful not to trigger the big long kick because it will make you drop fast. So, okay, you joined me back at 3,000 meters, just a little bit further from where we were before. I realised I missed an obstacle because I just passed it, and that is the ghosts. I'm pretty sure we didn't see any, so I'll carry on the run. Maybe cut out to the point where we see the ghosts. I'll try and explain properly what you need to do to pass them consistently, or what you can do, and then that should be the tutorial covered for all the advanced obstacles, how to pass them. So here goes. Okay, so I just passed the race first. So what you want to do is basically you want to do little kicks that to pass the ghost, or you can hover. They can ambush you very quickly. We can drop down very quickly. I won't die here, so it'll just be very annoying. Oh, I've done it that way. Okay, drop here, hover. Back kick. Drop down here. Run, not too fast. Repeat. Run down, or kick. Back kick. Turn away. Drop. Wait till the right moment. I can do this better for once. And this is what I was talking about with touching the spikes. You see how I slipped because I basically touched the slope, not the bumper. Well, that can happen, and it happens a lot, but if you keep kicking very gently like that while hovering, you can pass it. There. Right, here we go. You can just hover down normally, like this. But I suggest kicking. Right, so here we are. Kick, kick, kick. Gonna get there, so we kick and we drop. Here we go. Final bit. Look at that. Kick. That was very close. So yeah, we're nearly at 4,000. So that's pretty good going. So we've definitely now seen all the obstacles and how to do it. So let's finish the video there. I hope that was very helpful. Another thing I forgot to mention is if I just unpause a minute, which if I press resume, can you see how the background's changed to black? Now my subscribers know I'm obsessed with it, and my friends, but it keeps changing, it glitches out. Basically it's the black outside the pit layout, and it's bleeding in to the based on the tiles, and it's bleeding into the foreground where all the obstacles are. It can be very disorientating, so just be aware of it and don't get scared and don't panic. Just do it normally. So far so good.